Have you ever heard the words telehealth or telemedicine? Katie is my friend. She was 5 months pregnant and lived in a rural area. When the doctor visited her, he told pregnancy could be high risk and she would be monitored more closely than most pregnant women. This means more doctors visit, more tests, more traveling from a small town, and more time away from work and family. All of this adds up to more money. Then she met her doctor. Her doctor worked at Original Health Clinic 50 minutes away from Katie's home. He was a family practice physician and specialized at high-risk pregnancies. There was a tool at his office and he helped Katie and her family by that tool. The tool was video conference unit. Video conference allows two people to communicate in real time over long distance. Sounds like a telephone, but video adds to face-to-face element that phone cannot offer. She had an appointment to see her doctor in the capital city of her state, which is 2.5 hours away. Instead of missing work, finding babysitters, and filling the car with gas, and maybe even staying at hotel, Katie could drive to Original Health Clinic and saw her doctor in capital city over live video. The doctor could see Katie, look at ultrasound images, and direct her care. Katie got more special, live care, cheaper and faster. That was telemedicine. Okay. Telemedicine is the use of telecommunication network for delivering healthcare services and medical education from one geographical location to another. Has been shown to work to be effective in many clinical areas, to be sustainable, and in some cases to be cost effective. As a consequence, telemedicine appears to be ready for wider adoption in healthcare systems. The other name of telemedicine is telehealth, m-health, remote medicine, e-health, and telecare. An early telemedicine project involving NASA, the Papago tribe, kind of Indian tribe, Indian nation, a space company, the Indian Health Service, and the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare explored the possibility of using technology to provide improved health care to a remote population in southern Arizona. The project, called Space Technology Applied to Rural Papago Advanced Health Care, took place in the 1970s and demonstrated the feasibility of consortium of public and private partners working together to provide medical care to remote population via telecommunication. But the history of telemedicine is very controversial. Telemedicine was first referenced in radio news April 1924. The magazine's cover showed a child hooked up to a radio that displayed a picture of the physician talking to and seeing the patient. The radio also was able to take a patient's pulse and temperature and print out the result on a paper strip. The first video transmission occurred in 1927, while radio was still evolving. Video's first public demonstration occurred at the 1939 New York World's Fair. However, color videocasts did not become available until 1952. During the same decade that telemedicine was used in the medical community to transmit radiologic images between two sites located 24 miles apart in Pennsylvania. A successful intercontinental exchange of medical knowledge occurred in 1965 while Michael DeBakey, MD, performed open-heart heart surgery at the Methodist Hospital Houston in Houston, Texas. Representatives of the Genova University Medical Faculty were able to watch the procedure. Dr. DeBakey answered the question via an international communication satellite. In 1968, the Massachusetts General Hospital established an interactive microwave link between the emergency department and the nurse-staffed medical station at Boston's Logan Airport. The link was established to provide emergency service to airline passengers. Telehealth services allow patients to access health education and support through their home computers or wireless devices to help manage their health. It also creates a virtual medical community for providers. The benefit of telemedicine, one of the most pressing challenges facing the United States today is the increasing cost of healthcare. Public and private organizations are actively seeking strategies to slow the growth of healthcare spending without compromising access, effectiveness, and safety. One such strategy may be found in telemedicine, whereby healthcare provides use telecommunication technology to deliver healthcare services to patients who are remotely located or have limited access to specialty care. Telemedicine has been implemented, for instance, to monitor and care for patients with heart condition or diabetes through the transmission of echocardiograms for faster expert diagnosis and the frequent monitoring of patients with diabetes or heart failure via telephone or video conferences. In dermatology and ophthalmology, video conferencing and image transmission allow for long-distance consultation with experts for faster diagnosis and treatment, while also avoiding travel costs for patients and their families. Although telemedicine programs have expanded faster in advanced economies, the use of telemedicine in developing countries, particularly in remote and rural areas, has great potential to increase access to healthcare and technology, enhance knowledge transfer to local practitioners, and make healthcare more affordable for impoverished population. As you can see, telehealth reduced inpatient utilization according to Telemedicine Journal of eHealth, 40% reduction in ER visits, 63% reduction in hospital admissions, 63% reduction in hospital bed days of care, 64% reduction in nursing home admissions, 88% reduction in nursing home bed days, and significantly improved quality of life. According to National Perspective Telehealth Trends and Policy, there is upward trend in using telemedicine from 1987 until 2012. And according California Healthcare Foundation, 87% of U.S. adults use the internet. And looking for health information is the third most popular online activity. Most popular search was a specific disease, medical treatment and procedure, and doctors, hospital, and other medical facilities. Today we talk about what is telemedicine, the story of telemedicine, and benefit of telemedicine. Thank you for your listening.
All right, Yvette, what did you think?
I like the topic, the telemedicine, because I don't really know that much about it, so it was pretty good to get more informed on it. You did a really good job on giving like a lot of information because I learned like about it more. I could hear you clearly, and the slides, I went along with it, so the slides were good. The only thing that you could improve on is maybe not reading off so much on your note card, and just a little bit faster, because sometimes I would like lose myself and be like, oh my god, where are we? But other than that, like overall, I thought you did a really good job on your speech.
Thank you.
All right. I like the story at the beginning, the example that you tell. I think it goes on a little long because you need to get to the point a little faster. We know what the subject is, and you give us a little more detail on that than we probably need. I know what the topic identification is. I think I need a clear explanation of what it is your goal for us in this period of time is. That was not as clear as it needed to be. A good justification, though, you tell us why it is that people are attempting to use this, and I thought that made sense. I did not really hear a clear setup of what the structure was going to be. However, in the body of the speech, it was pretty easy to figure out what was going on. And I wrote down notes at the bottom. I said, okay, there's a definition section. Here's a history section. Here's kind of an expanding use benefit section. And then when you got to the end of the speech, you had the summary where you did the thing that I thought should have also been in your preview. And it's the same points I had. So it's relatively clear. That part's good. But I think you needed a clearer preview. The definitions are fine. I heard supporting material in most of the speech, although there's sections at the beginning where I didn't quite pick out where the information was coming from. I thought you had good examples of, like in the historical context, you talk about the DeBakey surgery. I thought that was pretty interesting. As you're getting into the argument at the end about why people would want to be using this and how it would be beneficial, you make all these lists of, it's supposed to do this, it's supposed to do this, it's supposed to do this. And I wrote down here, I said, okay, where's the data that any of this approach is working? And then boom, it shows up. Suddenly it appears. I said, oh, there it is, good. I'm glad you finally got to it. So I was kind of expecting some of it. Maybe could be integrated a little bit more, but you've got the right idea there. The visual, the problem I have with the visuals is that they're almost all script. I mean, you do have 2 or 3 pictures. The first picture kind of illustrates the idea or concept there. I don't know if you have any historical examples. I did like the image of the 1924 radio magazine cover. It says, oh, look, they were already talking about this 100 years ago, that this kind of thing might happen. And I thought that was interesting. There are some questions that I still am not quite sure of when it comes to this sort of thing. So, for instance, if there's probing, measuring, any of those kinds of things, how does that get done? If you're doing it at a site, like you were talking about that first woman who had a difficult pregnancy and had to be monitored, she's going someplace and being monitored someplace, and the doctor's someplace else, so she's located there. So there's somebody who's doing the taking the temperature, checking the blood pressure, doing a blood test, listening to the heart and the breathing, tapping on people, doing whatever it happens at. And I'm just wondering, and how do they do all that if you're just doing it at home on your computer? I don't know. Or is it always going to be, you go to a location and there's somebody who monitors and does those sorts of things? I needed a little bit more explanation on that. I think Yvette's right. She pointed out that you need to be less dependent on the notes. I think one of the things that happens is because you want to get everything right and you're not always familiar with the language, that you just start reading. The problem is that makes it worse. When you're reading it and it's unfamiliar or something sounds difficult, it just doesn't come across as clearly. If you could put the notes down and just talk to us like we were on a break, like you were in your group talking to people about the speech that you were going to do, I think you'd find that it works a lot better and you'll be a lot clearer and you'll probably be more confident also. So that's what we're going to work on the next go around. We're going to not have any notes, that sort of thing. You guys are all going to be fantastic, I hope. All right, thank you.